University. I, Deepali Kamini, PhD scholar, Ambedkar Chair, researchers, students, and participants present here. We gathered today for a special lecture. We gathered today for a special lecture. Good afternoon, everyone.
In my out of my professional area. And I have my own YouTube channel, Dr. Mamgain. There I have started series on women leaders. So till now I have collected almost 40 women leaders and male leader entrepreneurs as well. So therefore, the in and out of subject of entrepreneurship is really very important at the current scenario because of lack of opportunity in the private sector. Uh, we really need to have very creative and very kind of good mindset when we start the. So I'm very, very happy that sir explained this topic, and I'm very eager to learn what exactly the sir is delivering this from. So thank you, sir, for giving us an opportunity to listen to. Now, it's maybe begin. I will start with Professor Rajendra. Professor Rajendra is development and economics, having over 3 decades of research and teaching experience. He is currently Professor of Economics and Head of Social Sciences at University Dehradun. His areas of expertise in labor, employment, migration, caste, inclusive development, and social inequalities. He has authored by several books and published more than 60 research papers in various national and international journals. We are honored to have with us as today's guest. Now I would like to introduce our chairperson for today's session, Professor Jagzap. Professor Jagzap is professor in the Department of the Political Science at Savitribai University. He is an active senior member of Savitribai at Phule University. He is a respected academician known for his work in social justice and public policy. His academic experience and guidance greatly in this today's discussion. Now, express our respect, and as a mark of honor to our dignitaries, I request Professor Jagzap to felicitate our guest speaker, Professor Rajendra.
So we went through my table.
Panel.
So the bird now. मैडम वॉल टूल अपने की तरफ क्रॉस कर ठीक है ओके थैंक यू
Now, I request practice.
So, very, very good afternoon to all of you. And let me take this opportunity first to express my gratitude, heartfelt thanks, to here, maybe to Mangi, for inviting me for this you deliver what you call the really kind of work in progress work. So, and I'm extremely happy that this session is being chaired by eminent political scientist, and I'm very happy that he's here. Professor Janbhali is also here. Professor Samuddin Gangoli is also here. And Dr. Pingali is also here, and Deepal is here. So all of you, I'm really very happy that my dear students, because without you, this interactive session in this kind of session would not have been possible. So basically, I'll be touching two key issues. That first thing that why we are talking about this title, and you are talking, we are just in Uttarakhand, but within it is also India. I am comparing India, and inside you will find a lot of figures about India, and then I am comparing Uttarakhand with India, so that some kind of sense is made that what is reasonably, I think very developing state, fast developing state, how it is basically catching up in the process of economic development to the state. That is what is and in the area of the prices, macro, small and medium prices. So, first thing let me see that let me tell that enterprises are very, very important for what employment and income. So, if you are having any kind of enterprise, please that Mangi was saying entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs is nothing but they are creating enterprise. They are entrepreneurs and they are having some enterprise. So these enterprises are contributing immensely for the national economic development. They are contributing to gross domestic product. Gross domestic product means the income which is being generated in the country or in the economy over in a given year period. Time of period, how much these enterprises are producing. So this is what is important. The second thing is that apart from these enterprises, another thing which we are grappling with the issue is that let us see that how these enterprises, who owns those enterprises. That is important. So India is growing at the rate of what? Can you guess? 5 to 6 percent. 7.7% in the nominal term, but in real term means if you adjust to the inflation, it's around 5%. So if it is a 5% real growth rate is happening in India, it is really basically going to equate to minimum, not possible. And that is one of the important things to get across the world is also that we have a huge inequality. Inequality in terms of your educational opportunities, inequality in terms of your access to employment, inequality in terms of what you call income sources, and income. And another important thing that I'm just is fine. Income inequality, employment inequality, education inequality, and there's another dimension is the wealth inequality. That means that income, that kind of property which you might not have earned. Maybe my forefathers, my ancestors have earned a lot of property for me, and I am just enjoying that. But that is in my name. Because my parents have died, so this is in my name, but I have not earned that property. So that kind of inheritance in property opens a huge inequality. And today, surprising possibility with that. India is one of the country which is having very high what we call inequality. And this inequality is growing in income distribution, in access to quality educational institutions, and in wealth inequality though, very, very high amount. So if you get the Oxfam report that 10% of the top population of the country is holding around 60% of the The bottom 50% is having only 20%. Can you make 50% लोग जो है सिर्फ 20 रुपए के पास, सिर्फ 10% का टॉप पर लोग हैं उनके पास जो है 60% इनकम, तो 100 में तो 60 उनके पास है. It means that affluence, that curve affluence curve is growing. और उसका बहुत बड़ा रीजन because part of this inequality is basically due to the kind of what we call the asset holdings, the kind of enterprises you are having, the kind of education system you are having. So I'll be touching in those issues that how this what we call now another term is that intergenerational inequality. Intergenerational inequality means that inequality is persisting. Inequality is persisting over the generations. If I am poor, my son is likely to be poor. My grandson is likely to be poor. My granddaughter is likely to be poor. So this intergenerational inequality is also increasing. So it means that the concentration of wealth is limited in very, very few hands, and as a result, for the larger part of the society, you are having less income, less welfare, and they are living. That is one thing is very clear. So let me go to the next slide. So if you see that this is the one kind of trajectory I'm telling you. So let me briefly tell you about, because you may not be interested in Uttarakhand also, but Uttarakhand is a state which has just celebrating this 25 years of its states. It was created in 2025. During this period, you find that the state has grown like anything. That its per capita income, has increased 9.5 times. So this is what we call that per capita income is increasing. It is also one of the top performers in the SDG index of the country, Sustainable Development Index. It is the top performer with the index value of 0.79. So that is one of the important things that how state is performing over the years within a very, very short period of time. But if you see that the state has a typical development in other same parts. So there are three districts: Udham Singh Nagar, Haridwar, and Dehradun are largely plain areas. Remaining 10 districts in the state are hilly. Around concluding 86% of the geographical kind of geographical area is 10 hilly districts, but they are contributing only around 90 to 27% of GST. Means that the rest of 70% of the GST income is generated by 3 districts. Like here in Pune, Maharashtra, are the biggest contributor to state income. Rest of the regions are you are getting huge legal equal. So this legal equality is persisting over the years. This is what it has persisted over the years. So it means that development is not going to those remote and hilly areas. Another important thing that in this plain area, this kind of plain areas have around roughly 3.8, around 4 times higher, is 400% times higher income, 4 times higher income than those who are living in the plain hilly areas. It means that for them, whatever the growth is there, it is not calculating these who are staying in the hills. Another structure is that around 64% of the total population in India is in agriculture. Means that whereas in place is 32%, 33% of the population is dependent on agriculture. Means manufacturing and services are the major sources of employment in plain areas. And as a result, they are growing. The growth is basically largely led by the manufacturing services sector. Okay. Yes, another very important challenge of the state, and I think many millions of people in Maharashtra also, so, that migration, huge migration here. And this migration, as a result, this is because climate-driven migration. Climate conditions are not favorable for agriculture, right? And as a result, agricultural productivity has gone down, monsoons have become erratic. There is hardly any irrigated area. So largely they are dependent on monsoons, and monsoons are becoming erratic. As a result, the agricultural productivity has gone down. People are leaving agriculture and they are coming out. And many villages now in hills, they have on the ghost village. What do you call? Ghost villages. The population is less than 3, 4, 5%. Not more than that. And in some places, it will be zero. So all abundant villages, what we call abundant villages. So this means that the kind of development, the kind of regional aspirations which the Uttarakhand people have from the new state, say that they wanted that, and the demand for new state was from the hill part of the Uttarakhand, not from the plain part of it. They were only well settled. So it means that this regional equality, apart from that whatever income inequality, education inequalities, the regional inequalities are also becoming very, very important. That's what my purpose of this slide. That it is not only the kind of inequality based on caste, class, or the kind of whatever economic status, but it is based on the regional. So this regional inequality has increased over time, like anything. Okay. Clear up there? So, this over period of time, I am just showing that how industry, because in economy, any economy can be put into 3 sectors. More in 3 sectors, that is called primary, secondary, and tertiary. Tertiary, yes. Tertiary sectors. Tertiary means all education, services sector, health, education, trade, business, all this called tertiary sector. Manufacturing is now being said that manufacturing is the only sector which can provide jobs because it has a more employment intensity. क्योंकि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का हमेशा बोलते हैं कि एक यूनिट में लगाता है 2-3 4 so manufacturing like is another set of state is next to Tamil Nadu that it has a very huge share of manufacturing. It's not even Maharashtra does not have that much share. So this is Uttarakhand, around 26% of the different kind of the income is coming from industry based, it is including manufacturing and construction. Okay, so this is huge. And we can see from the formation of the state, it has gone up, and then it is still very high. Agriculture over the years, which was contributing around 25% at the beginning of the state, 2012, 1 or 2. It is now only contributing 10% of the total income of the state. Means, and here around half of the population is working there. Means half of the population is sharing 10% of the income. Means those who are working in agriculture, they are having less income. That's what it is reflecting in the national thing also that top 10% are earning 60% of the. This agriculture is one of the major factors for the growth of people. Services sector is also growing, but even in services sector, you say the per capita income is little better, but not much better than the benefits. Okay, next. Yeah. Okay. जहाँ पे थोड़ी वो मिलाओ कोई बता नहीं बना और बीच में कोई सवाल कोई बता पैसे ही आ रहे हैं यहाँ से पैसे कुछ कुछ जगह जा रहे हैं ओके किधर जाना ओके or you can see that kind of inequality. I said that will not try to go deeper into the what are the sources of inequality, where basically where no inequality is being generated. So you will find this now because what I will touching on that we should have this kind of categorization. If you want to have an understanding of inequality, nature of inequality in India, you have to have a kind of social group point data that which group is performing what, which group is owning what, and which group has the accessibility of owning. One is kind of availability, other is accessibility, and third is affordability. You are having availability, you are having accessibility, but you don't have affordability. Suppose symbiosis is here, you are having availability nearby your region. Accessibility, you can go. I want, go to transport. But whether it is affordable or not. 3 A's are very, very important for anybody's life. Availability, accessibility, and affordability. So these 3 A's are creating a lot of. So this is what, this is what I think of this ST, you will find that, despite we are having very, very high participation rate, which participation rate for the percentage of persons in that population who are working. We suppose there are 100 persons, and out of 100, how many of people are working as in we are working. In scheduled tribes, it is an all-India trend also. The scheduled tribes have the highest what we call work participation. They are more in work. For their agriculture, all primary sector, primary. Here, female participation rate is very, very high. You just compare this ST with the others. Other things you are having SCs also and others. So you compare the SCs. Compare the female participation. Because what is being argued that if India wants to develop 50-47 तक जाना है उसको, तो their work participation rate of female has to be more. They have to be more work. Means remunerative work. काम तो कर ही रही हूँ, they are working. Because I think women are overburdened. You say that whole house care economy, they are overburdened. But in terms of employment, people are arguing that if really India wants to go it by this even develop this country, they should reach their women's work participation rate at least about 75-80%, equal to the men. So it means that there are certain groups which are very, very good in that way. Compare STs, we take SCs, and then others, and the OBCs. So participation rate of women among OBC the lowest. OBC, other backward classes, followed by SCs, and then it is highest in among the STs. Right? This is due to the kind of their very nature of complexity. But there are certain social taboos also which are preventing women from OBCs and others to join the labor groups. They are not openly communist. They are still social taboos. Okay, that is also the easy problem. Yes, next to the next one. Now, this is a table which is basically education and this is all India data for India. इंडिया में जितने भी हायर एजुकेशन अफसर लोग हायर एजुकेशन चाहते हैं और तो हायर एजुकेशन को जो है सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी, सेंट्रल ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी, इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस, स्टेट पब्लिक यूनिवर्सिटी, स्टेट ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी, स्टेट प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटी, इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्टेट इंस्टीट्यूट है, डीम्ड यूनिवर्सिटी of government, डीम्ड यूनिवर्सिटी प्राइवेट, and this is what is kind of enrollment status. So what kind of composition of different, and this is total. It will find that in the last total, STs have around 12%, 13%. share in total enrollment. STs are, what is the ST composition today? So the total was around 8%. 8%. Means STs are still better represented in higher education. I'm not talking about the secondary, primary. There's a huge drop off. But वहां से जो sustain कर लेते हैं वो, जब they go for the higher, और वहां पे 12% होगा थे. SCs very less. You drop off in higher education, despite all the missions. You drop off. Then OBCs disproportionately also OBC population debatable. एक तरफ करीब 50-52% OBC population, but 30% they are in their animals. Means they are proportionately less in higher education. Proportionately more in higher education are other castes, 52%. Half of the total enrollment in the higher education are from the other caste, means those who are not SC or ST or OBC, who are accounting for around 60, more than 70% of the population. So it means that in higher education, access for higher education is also very highly inequitable. It is mainly in the domain of as a typical. But if you see the kind of structure, I am having the interest of Institute of National Importance. Just we can see that this year is less, but there are very few people are going here. But still, you are having a little bit better social group representation here. You are having better representation in publicly funded education institutions. But if you come to the private university, private institutions, so you will find that that share is very, very less. So that is what is of what we call the state private university. Share is very, very less. 7.5 something like that. It means that it means that the state governments are trying to do their best to give the benefit of reservation with Babasaheb Ambedkar has envisioned that reservation that is work. But from below people are out. We have clearly that the capacities are out. Supporting family structure is not there. Proper. So even you are having a very widespread reservation in higher education, they are not proportionately building into those institutions. Means that even despite the reservation, they are not able to offer that for the higher education. Is one thing, and that is due to their practice. Next. Another thing also there, you see that all the within group, there is inequality we call within group and between group. Means that between group group means those SC, yes, different SC, yes, OBC, what is the inequality in between? But between group means that across the gender. Suppose within the SC, the ST within other caste, if she is a woman, what is her share in education? What if she is a man? What is his share in? So even in that sense, you will find that this is less than one value means that they are not equal to the male. If there is suppose 100 boys are in higher education, 100 boys out of 100, only 24% are women. Means the gap, and they are understanding that if there are means that that women are less. This gap means that women are, it should be, you just minus it one. The gap will be the gender gap in the health. Means that they are basically, women are going less in number, even in all across all social groups. But it is more blurring in private institutions and among the OBCs. Okay, is that okay? Now, third dimension is that let us come to this kind of my main talk of enterprise. In enterprises, basically, it can be any kind of thing. So suppose I am enterprise means a person who is having his livelihood from a given source, and he or she is a controller of that. The decision of controlling that enterprise is of reserve for. So it's not self-employed. यदि मेरी चाय की टपरी है, चाय की टपरी बिकम सकती है। यदि मैं किसी वॉशिंग का मेरा गैरेज है, that is my enterprise, that's my source of life. उसको चलाने का हर मतलब जो है किसका भी मेरा है। So it means that the self-employed, self-employment, and this enterprise ownership are also those big things. ठीक है? तो इसका मेजर जो हर साल जो है इस पर डेटा आता है इकोनॉमिक सेंसस, and in economic census, why it basically economic all the such kind of enterprises. जैसे जनसंख्या का काउंट होता है, population is counted every 10 years, decade में 10 years population count. तभी तो अब 15 साल हो गया, 16 साल हो गए, उसके बाद वही काउंट हो जनवरी फरवरी हो गया। बट एंटरप्राइज का सर्वे भी हर एक 10 साल में होता है। उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है कि हमारी इकोनॉमी में पॉपुलेशन के साथ साथ जो है उससे इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज में जो कहाँ का है और क्या वो मतलब कैसे वो ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, कितने लोग हैं, कितना साइज का है, कहाँ लोकेशन है, तो ह्यूज डेटा। और इस सेंसस का मतलब ये होता है कि इट इज यूज्ड फॉर एस्टिमेटिंग द नेशनल मेजर करो। क्योंकि चाय की टपरी वाला का इनकम ऐसे नहीं करते, सैलरी वाले का हम सैलरी लेते हैं, हमारी इनकम आराम से आपको मेजर करते। और सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड बिजनेस का जो है इनकम मेजर करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, उसके लिए हमको इकोनॉमिक सेंसस और उसके बेस पर उनकी बहुत इंटेंसिव सर्वे। तो बेस्ड ऑन दैट देयर आर टू कैटेगरीज ऑफ एंटरप्राइजेस। वन इज व्हाट वी कॉल गवर्नमेंट एंटरप्राइज, जो सरकारी कंट्रोल में होते हैं। सेकंड वन सरकारी वो होते हैं। दूसरा एंटरप्राइज होते हैं प्राइवेटली ओन्ड, कोई मेरा ट्रांसपोर्ट प्राइवेटली ओन्ड, तो इट कैन बी प्रोप्राइटरी और पार्टनरशिप, partnership, ठीक है। So based on that, if you do away with what you call the government enterprises, तो हमारे पास जो बचता है वो क्या बोलते हैं, प्राइवेट एंटरप्राइज। तो प्राइवेट एंटरप्राइजेस जो है गवर्नमेंट एंटरप्राइज में आप शेयर देखेंगे करीब 18 से 20% जो है शेयर गवर्नमेंट एंटरप्राइज, बाकी 80% जो सारे एंटरप्राइज होते हैं या तो प्राइवेट। इकोनॉमिक सेंसस में सबसे पहले उसमें लिखा हुआ है कितने मतलब जो एंटरप्राइज 1990 में जो है 22.14 मिलियन। 2015 में जो लेटेस्ट सेंसस है वो हो गए अराउंड 52.29 मिलियन। ह्यूज जंप, मतलब करीब डबल, मोर देन डबल हो गया पिछले 20-25 साल, ठीक है, 30 साल। यदि आप देखो इसकी कहानी है, इसमें देखिए आप यदि इस एंटरप्राइजेस का ओनरशिप आपको, तो आप उस 1990 में जो है एससी की पॉपुलेशन जो है 16.33%, जो ऑलमोस्ट सेम है 16.60%, ठीक है ना। परंतु उनका एंटरप्राइज में शेयर देखिए, उनका एंटरप्राइज में शेयर देखिए कि जो एंटरप्राइज है कितने परसेंट ओन कर रहे हैं। They are owning now 9.85% था 1990, लगभग उसी पे था 2015 में जाके करीब 11%। इट मीन्स कितना डेफिसिट हुआ, यदि आप एससी की पॉपुलेशन से परसेंटेज से इसको माइनस करोगे उनके शेयर इन एंटरप्राइजेस, माइनस दिस 16.63 माइनस 11.40, कितना परसेंटेज हुआ, अराउंड 5%। तो हमारी पॉपुलेशन से जो है हमारे जो एंटरप्राइजेस हमारे ओनरशिप हमारे पास क्या कम 5 परसेंटेज पॉइंट, मतलब इट इज नॉट पैरिटी। यदि उसको परसेंटेज का आप कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो इट इज अराउंड 35-40%। 40% मतलब जो है हमारे पॉपुलेशन के जो शेयर होना चाहिए उससे कम हमारे एंटरप्राइजेस का। there are different factors for that. SC, ST का भी. So there are different reasons for that. So why enterprise ownership is very, very low. What I call it in economics, disproportionately low as compared to their population size. क्योंकि एक दफे बहुत जो एक फॉर्म डिवाकर ने बहुत बढ़िया नारा दिया था कि हमारा 25 मतलब जितना जनसंख्या उतनी शेयर हमको मतलब जो है बजट मिलना चाहिए, तो हमको शेयर और रिसोर्स में मिलना चाहिए. तो अगर 25% शेयर, 25, you should look from that side, very highly. ठीक है, और यहाँ आ गया ये. इवन इसका मतलब जो है उनका सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट में बहुत कम है. They are largely dependent on casual wage. इसमें कदे variable enterprise. So most of the SC population is engaged as a casual wage earners. Means casual wage earners आज यानी मजदूरी है, परसों है नहीं है, and they are not having any stable source of income. अब के सारे इंटरप्राइजेज में जो एक सबसे बड़ा सेगमेंट होता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड अनइनकॉर्पोरेटेड इंटरप्राइज. मीन जिनको प्राइवेट पहले वाले इंटरप्राइज में आपके टाटा, बिरला, मोदी सब काउंट हो बिलियन से, वो सब हो जाता है काउंट. ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर मतलब जो बड़े इंटरप्राइज बड़े सेक्टर वो भी सब काउंट हो जाते हैं और छोटे भी काउंट. तो इसमें जो है, इसमें सिर्फ जो है हम लोग सैंपल सर्वे करते हैं बेस्ड ऑन द इकोनॉमिक सेंसस. तो सैंपल सर्वे से निकालते हैं कितने हमारे देश में छोटे छोटे इंटरप्राइज हैं. अनइनकॉर्पोरेटेड मतलब जो कहीं रजिस्टर्ड हो सकता है, कहीं नहीं हो सकता है, किसी के पास सिर्फ सिंगल वर्कर आदमी है, किसी के पास मतलब जो है क्या बोलते हैं कहीं पे मतलब उसका रहने की जगह है, कहीं नहीं. बट दे आर डूइंग बट दे आर मोस्टली इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड पर्सन्स. फॉर्मल सेक्टर सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड एंड दिस इज अ ह्यूज नंबर. वो करीब मतलब जो है टोटल प्राइवेट एंटरप्राइजेस का अराउंड 78% of the total enterprise of 52 million मैंने बताया था, उसका 78% जो है these are informal enterprise. Means a larger chunk of the enterprise that ownership in India is in the informal sector. Informality, ठीक है. आज करीब मतलब जो है कहीं पे लगा दिया टेक्निकल तो गाइडेंस कम बच्चों वालों को रखा, किसी जगह कहीं लगा तो उसको सब्जी वाले को भगा दिया कि नहीं अभी यहाँ सब्जी नहीं लगा. These are all enterprise. तो इंटरप्राइज के मतलब बहुत बड़ा इंटरप्राइज मत समझिए. All the small sources of livelihood, this count with your life. यदि किसी को मतलब बाय चांस तो सब्जी की दुकान यहाँ पे थी, रोड आई डेवलपमेंट हुआ, उसको सब्जी की दुकान खुला दी, तो बड़े वाले को तो कहीं तो जगह मिल जाएगी, गेट सम काइंड ऑफ बिजनेस. बट एक छोटा आदमी जो है वेरी वेरी हार्ड फॉर हिम टू फाइंड फर्स्ट द प्लेस ऑफ वर्क, सेकंड उसको जो है ग्राहक नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि ग्राहक यहाँ बने हुए थे. ठीक है, उनको ग्राहक नहीं मिलेगा ऑनलाइन से इतना बात है. बट आई थिंक दिस काइंड ऑफ दीज आर द काइंड ऑफ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट courses of nuances of what we call in the enterprise operations. So if you see that that these enterprises, you compare this red bar of India, enterprise by social, all at one time being factor. You see that more SCs and STs. SC population is around 8%. You have seen the previous slide. Only owning around 4.5%. Means there's a double gap. 50% of ST are not owning any SCs. SCs, again, same question. 18%. Means I was in the last slide also. 14%, around 5-6% gap is here. OBCs are proportionate. OBCs are better placed in the informal enterprise, but they are having assets. Other population is also better, reasonably better. So this is one dimension. The dimension is that among those who are owning these enterprises. So suppose SC में 100 enterprises है, ST में 100 enterprises हैं. उस ST में से जो है 34% जो महिला है, बाकी क्या फेल हो गई. In the enterprise ownership. Again, these enterprises are dominated by males. जो सारे फिगर आ रहे हैं, these enterprises are dominated by males. कहीं भी देखिए आप जो है, and this is relatively, this gender ratio is relatively better, surprisingly from among STS, right? At some 60%. That's what they are there. Lot of things. For that, not because of this is, now there are two kinds of enterprises. एक तो हो गया कि these enterprises basically own account enterprises. Okay? ये मेरा मतलब जो एक सिंगल आदमी होता है, and it is not hiring any labor. So if you are hiring any labor quantity, so it means that you are having some good profitability. But if you are doing alone, it means you are not able to profitability, you are not able to afford to pay any salary or wages for that person. So you will find that most of the enterprises are what we call own account enterprises. They are a family business, family enterprises, small things, which are not able to afford to have any labor. It means the production is the subsistence, the services are at the subsistence level. But थोड़ा मिल गया खा लिया, यही उत्पादन ज़्यादा है, and the profitability is not that much high. So this most of the enterprises are one account enterprises, and they are operating at the subsistence level of earning, means hand to mouth. So you can imagine, just imagine that 60% asset sharing, 50% of the population is sharing how much? 20% of income. This is the kind of reason for that, because they are not able to basically operate on a bigger scale. And this disparity across social groups is very, very high. See that those who are others, better caste, upper caste, they are having also predominance of own account enterprises. But if you compare it with SCs and STs, you will find that 95% of STs and SCs having this own account enterprises. So it means that they are more vulnerable. They are having low income than others. Next one. This type of enterprises. You see that these private enterprises कैसे होते हैं? तीन कैटेगरी में बांटते हैं इनको बेसिकली. उसके तीन के अंदर बहुत बड़ी कैटेगरी होती है. Say that मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बहुत सारी चीजें मैन्युफैक्चर होती है. There are another 60 categories. But manufacturing, if you brought करेंगे manufacturing, so manufacturing, then trade and business, and then other services, right? So you will find that it is India. I am not focusing on Uttarakhand, and let us see India. Manufacturing among STs, 30% enterprises. 30, it's almost same. But others में जो है, the service enterprises are more among SCs and others. Means service means there are a lot of domestic service enterprises. It is not for the housekeeping, house cleaning. These are all service enterprises. So this means that OBCs are hiring trade and business. 32% share. STs are also in trade and business because mostly they are also those enterprises. Agriculture फिलहाल भूल जाओ. Agriculture को छोड़ गए हैं. These are apart from agriculture. Those who are having this kind of enterprise here, basically SCs में जो है, the manufacturing trade में कम, services में उनके ज़्यादा. You will be surprised the services will get there, but there are kind of an n number of mundane services. This group of enterprises, and here the services mean they are offering their services. Their service cards. Exactly. So that's why they are having this very high percentage of services. So next.
What is the qualitative difference between the services offered by the other caste categories and services offered by OBC, SCs, and STs.
I'll see that. Suppose there is a kind of service, coaching is this service. This is our caste, okay, right? But suppose some private tuition. This is anybody. Some kind of repair and maintenance, some other car. So this is low earning. So this is got to know that because most of the inequalities are being generated from the educational difference, and these are then reflecting in the labor market outcome, ownership. Now, if you see that kind of that gross value added per worker, अब आपका सवाल था कि how much they earn, how much their enterprise are earning. Very less. Let us see this. This is very interesting. That those who are forget Uttarakhand is doing much better in the per worker value added per worker. You say per worker income. Value added per worker income in these enterprises. Mean those who are owning those enterprises. How much is the per worker earning here? So again, the social group variability is very, very big. You will find that STs, SCs are earning much less income. STs and SCs, 80 to 100,000 rupees they are earning as compared to those who are other categories, 170. You can see the difference. 74,000 they are earning per worker, earning is more. Right? So this earning means that this earning is also reflecting the kind of quality of enterprise you have, quality of business you have. So this means that those who are SC, ST, they are less likely to get the more income because they are owning the kind of what you call less earning, less modern, less profitable businesses. And the accessibility to those businesses is different. If I'll just touch upon that. Next. Yeah. This means that parity means that if you say that this is showing inequality. Parity means that if they are earning 100 rupees, others are earning 100 in India, OBCs are earning 68 only. SCs are earning 41 only. SCs are earning 34 only. The lowest earning is for STs. So this difference is very, very, very good. It means that as compared to others, means that inequality. If you convert it into inequality, Gini coefficient ratio, you will find that this means that inequality. There's a huge intergroup inequality. Huge intergroup inequality in the per worker earnings. Okay. Then manufacturing here. Yes, manufacturing, trade, services. Here again, trade. Those who are in trade, SCs, those who are in trade, they are almost parity in earning. Means those they are in less in number, but those in trade and businesses, their earning is almost equal to those who are from the upper caste. Okay, this is very, very important, very, very intriguing finding also. Those who are in OBC, those who are owning what you call trade, they are also having equal parity. STs are lagging behind. So services is a kind of reference group. Services, because reference group means services has the highest. Those who are the services enterprise है, उनकी per worker earning जो है सबसे highest है. बजाय जो है उसके बाद followed by manufacturing, trade and business. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि सर्विसेज में बहुत सारा इनकम, सबसे ज्यादा इनकम वहां पे है, परंतु वहां पे एक्सेसिबिलिटी लोगों की कम है. रिलेटिवली SC, ST की एक्सेसिबिलिटी कम है इन प्रॉफिट मेकिंग एंटरप्राइजेस. इससे जो डिफरेंस है. ओके, ओके, फॉर आगे तो another source, periodic labor force survey. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया करती है, नेशनल सैंपल सर्वे का. और इसका पीरियडिक लेबर फोर्स सर्वे में एक क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है कि व्हाट इज योर एवरेज मंथली इनकम, हर एक को पूछा जाता है, एंड इट इज एस्टिमेटेड. और उसमें तीन कैटेगरी के वर्कर होते हैं। एक तो जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड, जो इंटरप्राइज कर रहे हैं। दूसरा होते हैं दोज हु आर इन सैलरी जॉब। इनको तो आसान है बताना, मुझे मंथली सैलरी में दिस इज मोस्ट इजी थिंग। एंड थर्ड कैजुअल वेज। आई हैव जस्ट not taken casual labor, but I have taken only two categories: regular salary job and self-employed. Regular salary job में भी जो है, आप देखिए, इट इज कंसिडर्ड कि वो सबसे मोस्ट स्टेबल सोर्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट होगा, इनकम होगा, वहां पे सबसे ज्यादा इनकम है। ओवरऑल 20,785 रुपीज पर मंथ दोज हु आर इन रेगुलर सैलरी जॉब। बट आप उसमें देखिए, जो अपर कास्ट है 22,000 रुपये से ऊपर देता है, SC 20,000, ST की सबसे मतलब जो है 19,000 एंड OBC के सबसे लो। It is not that law that that SCs have the lowest or STs have the lowest. It is OBC. उसका अपोजिट आप देखिए, सेम चीज है कि आप सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड, आप देखिए कि जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड है उनकी इनकम बहुत कम है एज कम्पेयर टू दोज हु सैलरी जॉब। इसीलिए सब लोग सैलरी जॉब में जाना चाहते हैं। इज द रीजन पीपल आर गोइंग फॉर सैलरी जॉब, क्योंकि स्टेबल है, ज्यादा भी ठीक ठाक है। The difference is, you can see the difference around 21,000 per month, here around 13,000 per month. This is what the difference is at the all India level, at total level. But if you go to the group wise, then you will find the differences are much higher. Those who are self-employed they are earning the least income. They are STs and SC as compared to those who are others. Means कि आप जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड में भी जो है वहां पे भी कम अर्निंग होगी। तो ह्यूज डिफरेंस। So these differences are basically, and just next hour. May I ask a question here? Yeah, please.
How can we consider salary people compared with self-employed? Are we considering salary people being entrepreneurs?
The salary people are salaried, those who are getting salary.
Then why to compare these two?
Two, basically, one we are comparing that one thing that most preferred source of employment is salary, right? People are going for salary job, but even within the salary job, there is not equal access for the quality of salary job. Because as a result, for worker, salary earning is
Why
less.
to compare that in price? About salary,
Salary,
when we are talking about entrepreneurs.
I am just trying to show it that look, that those who are in the self-employed enterprise, those who are in category, they are earning much less than what basically salary is over. That's what you find, the lowest earning is among the category. So if you see the kind of earning expected in the labor market, the lowest are category earners. The second is self-employed, and third is the top in the regular salary. So this is the basic proposition that if you are having base salary employed means around in India, around 20% of the people population is salary. That is the basic number. Then 20% of the salary population is basically the salary jobs. Their earnings are much higher. But within those salary jobs also, there is a huge inequality. That is what I am trying to understand. That inequality is everywhere. So, in terms of type of employment, you talk in terms of the kind of social group, you talk in terms of quality of employment, it's all inequality process. Okay.
Then you want to say that there is a difference between the sure income and unsure income.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Problem, I showed it because what you are earning. Basically, what I say that access to regular salary job is not for this okay. Those who are going for even on a regular salary job, there's a huge divergence. The fact that there's a huge unorganized informal sector because many of them are working in these two enterprises as the wage earners. 80% हमने बोला own account enterprises है, 20% of enterprises they are hiring workers. It means that that 20% enterprises they are often working higher. And they may be paying is a casual labor, daily wage, or they may be hiring on a regular basis, providing help. Is that no? That large chunk of I wrote in my one of my papers that large chunk of what you call salary jobs is in private informal sector. Private informal. And this private informal because no people are paying for salary jobs. But these salary jobs are highly concentrated to private informal sector. And their earning per worker earning is around 2.5 times less than those who are earning in the little bit higher on the private sector. Forget about the government. So it means that that you pick up any kind of indicator on labor market, be it the kind of type of employment, be it the kind of ownership of enterprise, you will find inequalities. And these inequalities, as I mentioned, that these inequalities basically, I give one study, it has been published in a book by says formal labor market in Pune. Pune was one city, 90 years ago, long back, 90 back. So Pune, Coimbatore, Lucknow, and Delhi. So I was interested in understanding the kind of law and following the Professor Murad's basically methodology of measuring the discrimination in urban labor market. And what kind of discrimination? Because much of these inequalities are also associated with the kind of discriminatory practices in the labor. And these discriminatory practices means that if I am having same education, same training, same kind of experiences, I may be less likely to get the kind of employment because in our study also we proved that even in the private sector, even government sector jobs, forget about that. Private sector jobs also, we have found that there is a discrimination in various forms. So if you are basically hiring any kind of person, private sector claims that they are caste blind, they don't caste. But we proved it that if persons caste, belonging, everything, they are also scrutinized. And then it is also that there's a huge network of workers, and this network is very, very important. Those who are having strong networks, if you are belonging to the network, from the network community, means that you are basically so the source of one of the major source of inequality in the labor market is source of information, access to the source of information. गवर्नमेंट में जॉब तो आपको इम्पोर्टेंट मिल जाए कहाँ होगा कहाँ नौकरी मिलती है प्राइवेट नहीं मिलता इसमें पास जॉब है कहाँ कहीं मिला एडवर्टाइज देखा कहीं करती मिलते नहीं आप पहले मिल भी जाते जब एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज में गवर्नमेंट को उनको पोस्ट करना पड़ता बिकॉज दे आर सपोज टू बिग कंपनीज आर सपोज टू ऑपरेट थ्रू एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज बट नाउ एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज हैव बीन almost become the kind of employment facilitation centers. So the job information is not available to the larger part of the population, and the networks are playing very, very close. Network, network is very, very important. So आप देखेंगे कि network the whole network कि आपके network भी strong है यदि आप हो सकता है कि बहुत टॉप स्कूल के बच्चे पढ़े हों तो आपको नेटवर्किंग ठीक है तो नेटवर्किंग जब आपके जब वहाँ पे है तो वहाँ पे जो बच्चा की उसके एक्सेस कौन है वो बच्चे what both they are not from the kind of these what of 60-80% population they are someone who can afford and only afford accessibility वो लोग हैं and then वो continue करता है and it is also kind of creeping into the living market. I am not discouraging you because yes, so I said domestic is good, but I think this is the kind of reality in the market persists. और इसके लिए सबसे बढ़िया जो होता है कि we should have equal access to information. क्योंकि यदि हमारे पास यदि we are not having equal access to information, all these asymmetries will be coming. These are the information asymmetries. जिससे कारण जो है पूरा पता नहीं चलता वो क्या हो रहा है एंड यदि आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन डीप लो आपको मतलब इक्वली एक्सेसिबल हो एंड इक्वली आप कम्पीट करने का चांस मिलेगा, बट उसके बावजूद भी जो है देयर कास्ट बायस इज स्टिल परसिस्टेंट, नॉट इन माय कास्ट बायस in the enterprise ownership, in the kind of hiring of the services, it persists. It persists. But it is diluting over the years, but it still persists. So, Vijay Ross, thank you very much.
So,
Wait.
open for question and answer. Fine.
सवाल ये है कि जब उत्तराखंड के बारे में हम सोचते हैं तो रिलीजन का बहुत ज्यादा वहां पे प्रभाव है, और जहाँ पे रिलीजन का बहुत ज्यादा प्रभाव है वहां पे कास्ट का भी एक बहुत बड़ा प्रभाव है। तो मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि उसके वजह से कास्ट सिस्टम बहुत ज्यादा क्या ऑपरेट होती है। दूसरा मेरा सवाल ये है कि उत्तर प्रदेश के सिर्फ अलग होने के बाद क्या सिचुएशन में अंतर आया है, और ये मैं इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में पूछ रहा हूँ। महाराष्ट्र में हम जब कास्ट के बारे में सोचते हैं तो सोशल रिफॉर्मर्स ने इंटरप्रिनेशन के बारे में भी बात किया है, महात्मा फुले, बाबा साहब। तो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ये दो सवाल मैं आपको पूछना है।
और एक दो सवाल पूछ सकते हैं उसके बाद
और तो
सर, जहाँ तक आपने नेटवर्किंग की बात की है लास्ट, और एक्सेसिबिलिटी, इंफॉर्मेशन, ये सब जो चीजें हैं, मेंटरशिप की कोई स्कीम इसको हेल्प कर सकती है?
इसकी नहीं देखता है because they are very stubborn. Okay, ST in the ST. See that they are struggling for the livelihood. But you show that they are not ignoring the diversity. What the concept is
I think
internet.
okay.
So how because they are already segregated from mainstream or main formation. And even after the deforestation and all, their problem is like plastic meters.
No, what the various statistics you have displayed. In that, this is heavy and upper hand that STS. So what is the logic behind this? Particularly, if you are talking in the context of Uttarakhand.
So let me ask this.
आपने 3 कैटेगरी स्पेसिफिक लिए, SC, ST, OBC एंड 4th वन अदर्स। अदर्स में भी बहुत सारे सब कैटेगरीज है सब, और आपने जैसे कहा कि प्राइवेट ओनरशिप भी रही तो भी वहाँ एक डिस्क्रिमिनेशन देखने को मिलता है, दिखता नहीं पर होता है डिस्क्रिमिनेशन। तो क्या सिर्फ वो हम 3 फोकस ऐसा ST, SC, OBC तक ही कर रहे हैं, क्या अदर्स की भी ऐसी कुछ है जो हाँ ऐसे डिस्क्रिमिनेशन फेस करते हैं? अदर्स बोल के क्या क्या इंक्लूड हो सकता है या किस तरह से फेस करते हैं? तो वही क्वेश्चन।
Okay, I think very interesting question. So पहले मैं थोड़ा माफी चाहूँ तो मेरे पास जो स्लाइड में काफी हैवी डेटा था, और डेटा का पर्पज ये होता है कि थोड़ा लोगों के आंखों को खोलना और दिखाना कि मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि एक्सप्रेशन में, बिकॉज एन इकोनॉमिस्ट हमारी ट्रेनिंग होती है कि वी डू नॉट टॉक इन एक्सप्रेशन, फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स टैग जो हो, और उसका मतलब फिर आर्टिकुलेट करना फिर आप जैसे है ना। तो ये दिस इज व्हाट उत्तराखंड में जैसे आपने कास्ट रीजन की जो मतलब